Welcome to Unlearn the Crap and Level Up. Your soul is calling. I'm your host, Kathy Baldwin, and this is an episode of Kathy Unplugged. This wasn't supposed to be an episode. I didn't plan it. I didn't even know if I'd ever share it. I just hit record in the middle of a breakdown, in the middle of a breakthrough. I had no makeup, just truth. I wanted to capture what I was thinking and feeling for a very big moment in my life. But then something happened. I realized as I was talking and recording and taking this moment down in history for myself, that this wasn't just about me. It was a message for all of us. On the day the Earth's frequency spiked, the Schumann Resonance, I felt everything explode. My nervous system, my plans, my willpower. But that breakdown, it became my doorway. What you're about to hear is the exact moment that I took my voice back for real this time. So if you've ever been waiting, pushing, forcing, or wondering why nothing's working, stop scrolling and join me on this conversation, because this episode is for you. The earth wasn't in your way. It was showing you the way. Now let's get into it. This is Kathy Unplugged. Hi, welcome to Unlearn the Crap and Level Up. Your soul is calling. My name is Kathy Baldwin. To be really honest with you, I don't know if I'm ever going to actually air this. If you look at me right now, I am not camera ready. I threw on a little bit of lipstick, but something happened that I felt I just needed to talk about and document and put down into words. And so if I choose in the future to share this with you, great. But I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth right now. Let me backtrack a little bit. Today is July the 9th, 2025. In the last 24 hours, there has been a massive surge on the Schumann Resonance scale. The Schumann Resonance scale measures the breath, the vitality, the electromagnetic field of our Earth. It's affected by things like what's happening on our Earth. For example, the Schumann resonance field, it reacted when 9/11 happened. It had a massive reaction when we found out that Princess Diana had been killed in that tragic car accident. It's affected by sun flare-ups of things that are happening with the sun. We are an electromagnetic field. That's what we are at the core of everything. And we live in an electromagnetic environment. We are biochemical beings. We think we're this skin and this flesh, but we're not. We're all so interconnected. And there is something really major that is happening. And I'm learning to listen to my body. It's something I say all the time. If you're in my life, you have heard me say, listen to your body. If you're tired, sleep. If you're hungry, eat. Whatever it is, listen to your body. Don't push, because I know firsthand what happens when you don't listen to your body and you just have your mind and your willpower override everything that is happening to you and your body. And when we start to go into flow of what is actually happening, we let go and we release. So there's been a lot of things that have been happening to me lately. And part of what's been happening has had me step away from my podcast. I've been away from my podcast for about 6 weeks now. It was not a choice that I chose. And so as I was looking at this time, I was trying to figure out, okay, universe, what's happening? Are you purposely giving me time and space to do other things that are happening? And I had signed a publishing deal a while ago with my publisher, She Rises Studios, for my third book. But I'd had the concept and I'd had the ideas and everything was there and I was building on it, but I wasn't ready to write it. And then this happened. And at the same time, I ended up, because of a whole series of things that are going on, had a very strong deadline that all of a sudden I needed to hit. And so I dropped everything that I was doing and I focused in on the book and I powered through and I worked and I created something that I am so beyond proud of. Not only is this book bigger than I thought it was going to be, and the message is even better, and it has exceeded anything that I ever expected or anticipated. The release date is September 9th, and I'm so excited because that'll be 9/9. And if we do it even farther in numerology, September 9th, 2025 is a 999. And we have all these amazing things happening, like Uranus coming into Gemini just the other day. We've got this surge happening with the Schumann Resonance. We have this forced hiatus of my podcast. The just explosion of this new book. And in the same time, I had this insight and this amazing, powerful vision of something else that I was building. And it is a whole business system that allows podcasters like me and you, other podcasters, maybe you're one of them, to find a way to really be finally independent, finally prosperous, finally bring your voice to the world. It's actually called Finally. And I'm in the process of finishing that up and bringing that to the world. I realize that I have finally have a TED Talk in me. It's something I've always wondered about. Is that me? Do I have something special, something unique, ideas worth sharing that it would be worth on TED? I put in my first TED Talk application. There's a lot happening. And I'm going to circle back to where I was in the beginning with the Schumann Resonance. The energy was so strong that even though I had these goals and dreams of things I wanted to do, my body was like, no, not today, not today. And so I struggled with guilt of just laying around and watching TV or napping. And because my body just was not going to respond, my brain was not thinking. And this morning I woke up and I knew today was the day. And today I claimed my voice. Today I claimed my sovereignty. Today I had a whole bunch of things happen. Not the way I planned, not how I wanted. And there were things and people and circumstances that were happening that were beyond my control, because what people say and do is what people say and do. That has nothing to do with me. But sometimes I, and like you, are affected by other people's choices. And today I said, no more. No more. I'm not going to sit around and wait and be helpless for somebody else to give me my voice, to give me permission to be autonomous, to be sovereign, to claim my destiny. I was tired of waiting helplessly for things to happen, that I felt powerless. And so when I declared, no more, today, today's the day. Today's the day I stand up. Today's the day I make it happen. It did. It did. And the release that has happened, both energetically, for me personally, the fact that I'm showing up here on camera without any makeup, I'm prepared, totally emotional. I know I'm emotional. I know I'm charged. Sharing with you the behind the scenes of what this journey has meant to me, what has been released, what's coming. This is exciting. And as I was processing my emotions of what all just occurred, I realized that all those challenges, all those things I was dealing with, all of the sacrifices, the pain, the conflicts, the everything that was happening, it wasn't in my way. It was the way. I needed to overcome those things in order to level up. They were my step. They were what I needed to overcome in order for me to level up. And then staying quiet and the good girl and waiting for other people to do the right thing or to do their part or whatever it was is part of the old crap that I still am unlearning. Hell, I just turned 60 years old. I got a lot of ingrained crap that I may have addressed and articulated and began to address. But the old stuff is going to be bubbling up probably for the rest of my life because they are so ingrained. They've got a lot of practice of being the good girl, of being quiet, of being easygoing, of not owning my own voice. I feel compelled to tell this story, even though it doesn't sound the most positive. Well, it wasn't. You see, when I was growing up, I struggled to speak. Not physically. It's not like I had a stutter or anything. It was that people would talk over top of me. They would interrupt me. They would make fun of the fact that I was struggling to get my point across because the more they interrupted, the more frustrated I got. The more frustrated I got, the more entertaining I seemed to be for those around me. And I would lose respect by those people around me because I could not get my voice out. I couldn't speak through a full thought without losing the power of my own voice. My podcast is my finding my voice. My books are my finding my voice. Me choosing to allow myself to dream bigger and allow these visions of what is possible to happen, visions and dreams that scare the living bejesus out of me because I've played small most of my life. I've put everyone and everything ahead of myself. I've believed in other people's visions and I've sacrificed for them over and over again. Even recently, there have been situations and people that I believe so much in their vision and their business that I sacrifice my own for them. In the thought of collaboration, of being in the environment, of sharing in something so big and powerful that I believed in it, even if it wasn't my own voice. That all ended today. Today. I had to phone somebody. I had to phone a friend kind of like that show, Do You Want to Phone a Friend? Because I knew I was emotionally charged. And I knew I needed to get that energy out of me. And I've always believed something that Oprah used to say all the time, which was Oprah didn't need to have therapy because she had her friend Gail. And so I reached out to a friend and said, I need a Gail. Will you be my Gail? And what I got back was I was heard and I was accepted, but I was also shown the possibilities and the belief in what I'm doing. And the it's amazing. So I'm sharing this here on this video recording. Like I said, I don't know if I'll post it because I want to put into reality this is happening. And we are all being called to level up and bring our voices. And those challenges and those things and those conflicts and everything that feels like it's in our way. And we are feeling overwhelmed. And what do we do? And how do we handle this? And what is going on? And why is it happening this way? None of that really matters because it's what we do about it. And do we own what we can do to make things happen? Do we level up? I did. It's not how I wanted it to happen. I had this vision of how it was all going to be all pretty and not ruffle any feathers and, do it the good, easy way. But just because it didn't happen the way the old Kathy wanted it to happen, I made it happen. And when I think about it, there was so many times in my past where I had to be pushed to a point of no longer saying, okay, let me know when. Okay, whatever, I'll be here. Just let me know. And I said, no, this is not right. This is what must happen. This is what I am claiming. This is the way it's going to be. And I chose to step into my own path and walk my own walk. And there's quite a few times in my past where I made shit happen because I stood up. There was one case. All these memories are coming back into my head right now as I'm talking about this because this is absolutely not a planned podcast in any way, shape, or form. But I remember there was a legal situation where somebody had signed a legal intent to buy my mother's car. And my mother had left the country. My father had left the country. And they had expected this person to keep their end of the bargain. But this person did not. They didn't live up to their word. And so no matter how many times my parents had tried to say, hey, wait a minute, we went in good faith with this agreement. And you were supposed to hold up your end of it. And this person felt, obviously, because my parents had left the country and he had possession of the car, he could do whatever he wanted. I went to the courthouse and I remember asking the person behind the wicket at the courthouse. And I said, this is what's happening. Here's all my documentation. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a person. What do I do? How do I handle this? And the person said, wow, well, you fill out this form and you use this language and you do this and we'll take care of the rest. Oh, and pay this fee, of course. So I did everything. Use the legal jargon that I'd never heard of before. And I got a judge order saying, yes, you're right. And you may repossess this car. So I took this court order to a sheriff, and the sheriff went and repossessed the car. And I was right there waiting for the car to be taken out of this person's possession. And this person was screaming, "You can't do this. We're not in Russia." And I remember the sheriff saying, "But you have to pay your bills. You have to hold up your end of the contract." Now, it's actually quite funny, the story, because as I drove away in the car, this person hadn't upkept it. It was a beautiful Lincoln car, white, Mark IV, Mark VII, one of those, gorgeous, sexy car. But he obviously felt that he didn't own it. He didn't need to take care of it. He didn't even take the plates off of it. And so he didn't even put power steering fluid into it. So when I drove away, I couldn't crank. I was pulling on the steering wheel to get it to turn. And that's what happens. That's what happens when someone doesn't own something and they don't cherish it and they don't respect it. And when you don't hold up your end of the bargain, and when you find your voice and you say, no, 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 I'm going to hold to a standard of agreement and I'm going to own what's mine. The car became mine because my mother said, "You have full power of attorney. If you can get the car, it's yours." So I did. And today, that's happened in spades in so many areas of my life. I'm beyond. I'm beyond. It's a new chapter. It's a new world for me. There's a lot coming. My new book will be released in September. I'm really proud of it. It is using Unlearn the Crap philosophy with AI. My business systems for podcasters so that they can run their business, have their voice, have their power without being dragged down by everything. That's coming in August. I'm working on so many different things. My podcast is going independent, where I'm going to have my own voice. There are so many areas of my life that are coming together. And just like that Schumann Resonance that just happened, where it was leveling us up and the earth was shaking us up out of complacency and saying, it's time to step up. Because what we just dealt with wasn't in our way. It was the way. I hope I have the courage to post this, because this was pretty raw and this was pretty vulnerable. And I believe in leading by vulnerability. I hope you can feel and see the true, authentic voice that I have right now. I hope you can feel the power of what it feels like to finally step in fully and take the next level up step. And I hope, for my own sake, that I've had enough level up that has happened, that I'll recognize it faster and sooner, so that the next step that comes, I won't hang on to the good, quiet girl for too long, that I won't give my power away, because the world is changing so fast. We're all being called to level up. There's so much chaos that's going on. It is up to us, and we cannot fix it externally by going through external ways. We must go internally. We must level up ourselves. We must own our voice. We must own our power. We must own our empowerment. We must. My name's Kathy Baldwin, and this is Unlearn the Crap and Level Up, because your soul is calling. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Unlearning Curve. I hope you enjoyed it. If something landed for you today, make sure to follow, like, comment, and share, and check out all the other full interviews and other episodes of Unlearn the Crap and Level Up podcast, where you'll find deeper conversations, expert guests, and real stories from people just like you who are unlearning their crap and choosing clarity. Visit me at kathybaldwin.me and get all my free resources. Check out my coaching programs as well as my books. Until next time, keep showing up, keep unlearning, and keep leveling up because your soul is calling.